Fuck, this thing's fucking unavoidable! Oh! No fucking way. What is this? What is this? Hey all, if you caught my last Elden Ring video, then you would know that I was struggling with a little old boss called the Putrescent Knight. Now, I was sitting at work today mulling over that Goliath piece of shit and his handy little cleaver. And I was doing a little digging on my break and found out that his remembrance grants that very weapon the Putrescent Cleaver. For some reason, not called Putrescent Cleaver, but whatever. And when I gave it a little look, I kind of saw a build coming along. Now, I'll be honest, this build was initially way better in my head because I misinterpreted a very key factor. We'll get to that in a second. But I just wanted to share the methodology surrounding this build and the kind of fun that I've had building it, because as soon as I got home from work tonight, I was just at it grinding for this shit just to put this together and try and see how it works. And to my surprise, it works pretty damn good. So first of all, I had to take out that piece of shit known as the Putrescent Knight. Now, I saw today that a better strategy than using the Golden Order Greatsword, which was my go-to idea. That was just kind of what came to my head when I was thinking of holy damage. But the Black Knife was a much better contender, just far more agile. You can get those slashes in and get that destined death effect on the boss. So I buffed that up to +9 after grinding some Somber Stones. I was missing about, I think it's always Somber Stone 1 and 3 that I'm missing. I buffed that up, and yeah, it went about as well as you can imagine. There was a lot of losses, but eventually, after some dedication, nearly quitting on it, I finally took down the Putrescent Knight. Some shit gameplay later, I almost had to forget the entire boss pattern that I knew and just go straight for him. Just try and hit those skills on him. But as soon as I had cleared him, I went straight to Inia, grabbed his weapon, and my build began here. Respect at Renala into a more arcane dex-heavy build than before. I was kind of a hybrid strength dex faith. But the idea I conjured up at work was this sort of crit-based build, because this weapon has 100 crit, which is, pretty normal for crit weapons, but it has some frost build up there that I kind of saw would work. Now, here's where I fundamentally misinterpreted something. I'd completely forgotten that criticals are Elden Ring's version of visceral attacks. And from some unknown reason, I thought that a critical attack was just an attack that deals more damage than your regular attack. So I had this whole build in mind. Using the two-handed sword talisman alongside the Blade of Mercy and the Dagger Talisman. I was just kind of going through the talisman list going, yeah, this is actually a great build. And for once, I was actually kind of, I kind of felt intentioned in my Elden Ring gameplay. I hadn't just stolen some shit from Extra Life, stolen some shit from here, combined them. No, I had made my own build. Now, while I have a video coming out explaining, the kind of beginnings of this playthrough of mine, I was really really proud of myself for coming up with this on the spot. And now, while it wasn't as good as initially planned and hypothesized, it does actually kind of work. Allow me to introduce you to my... I can't even say, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Let's call it the Bird Bitch build. Hey, that's my character's name now. It was Odessa, and now it's Bird Bitch Odessa. Because it's a grave bird armor. And those grave birds are bitches. They are feral little things. But kind of the key point of this build now, obviously with the crits, is hitting those staggers. Mixing the physic with the whichever thorny tier gives you the biggest stagger chance, alongside the boost to stamina recovery, because this is a stamina hungry build, a stamina eater. So I kind of had to build around that. I am used to playing with Radagon Sword Steel because I just like those extra points. So I had to take that off to fit this build a little bit more, which required me to sink a lot more into endurance, and I'm still going there. But I just want to show you kind of the ins and outs of this build so far, where it's going. It's still in its infancy, but that's kind of the rhetoric of it. You got your two-handed sword talisman, your dagger talisman, your blade of mercy, and then you kind of have room for a talisman of your choice. You can go for the two-headed green turtle talisman, which is great for that stamina recovery. Just don't exhaust your stamina and you instantly have it back, basically. Or you can run the Shard of Alexander, which is what I've been doing. That skill art on this weapon is quite good. It has a bit of a shit range, but the amount of just stun locks you can hit with just a basic attack or with the skill is really fun. So that's a good one. Or even something like the Rotted Winged Sword Talisman, or however you say it, or something of that in that vein. Even just the Winged Sword Talisman, or if I can't remember the name of it, but any talisman that kind of gives you damage boosts with successive attacks, you throw that in there. That kind of works with a lot of builds anyway. Because while it's a great axe, the putrescent cleaver actually has kind of a flow to it if you kind of figure it out. It is heavy, but it's not so heavy. Now, I did have this issue, obviously, with lower endurance, that I didn't have I had a heavy roll. So I had to kind of dull down on the armor for a bit, but I fixed it pretty early on, and now I'm back to that medium roll, which is perfect. It's exactly what you want. And yeah, no, I'm just kind of excited with this build. I'm gonna keep going with it, let you know how that goes. But look, I went and fought Mesmer again, and I managed to perform just as bad as I have the last 3 times I've tried. I was feeling like the raw damage output wasn't quite there, but it is. It's just, I've got to be a little bit more tactful with it. Or tactical, not tactful. And yeah, no, I'm kind of excited. While the weapon's only at +9, I didn't bother to go and grab an Ancient Dragon Somber Smithing Stone, but I will. I kind of just feel like there's a lot to love here, so I'm going to kind of go along with this build. I'm loving it. I love that I've just kind of created this for myself, and I'm going to let you know how it goes. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for just hearing out this rant. I'm just very proud of myself for once. And yeah, cheers. I'll see you next time, hopefully for another Elden Ring video. I'm really getting into this content making. Cheers.